Hey guys, it's Ben with Upstart HR and I hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk a little bit about how to get an entry-level HR job. It's one of the questions I get a lot from people. I kind of started the site focusing on the entry-level HR side of things because that's where I was in my career. I was learning a lot, I was sharing everything that I learned, and just picking up things left and right. I got to meet a lot of people like that, and I got just an amazing amount of learning experiences out of it. And so my path's been kind of different, but I've picked up some things from people who've been in the field for a long time and kind of some key ways to get into HR when you're standing on the outside looking in. I can still remember thinking to myself, you know what, all these job listings say you have to have a year or 2 years of experience to get this job, but I can't get a job without experience, but I need experience to get a job. This is weird paradox, and it just frustrates everyone who's on the receiving end of it. A lot of people sadly forget about that once they get into the HR profession, and they forget about the importance and how it felt and everything else. So just a couple of tips today basically to help you out if you're looking to get into an entry-level HR job from someone who's done it. So first of all, network. I know you've heard that, and I know it sounds kind of weird, but seriously, network. Find local SHRM chapters if you have one in your area. If you're a little younger, find out if the college has a SHRM chapter there, possibly just an HR group. If not that, just reach out to some people at local companies and see if you can find an HR person there, and just ask if you can take them out for a cup of coffee and just ask them a few questions about their career. You know what? That's how, not the only way, but that's a part of the way how I got my first HR job. One of those connections I made through that kind of thing ended up leading into helping me as a networking referral for my first real interview for an HR job. So network with people. You know what? You don't have a lot to offer someone just starting out, but try anyway. It really works. I know you hear it from people all the time, and it sounds like this thing that no one can really get their mind around, but it's not rocket science, it's not magical. You're just talking to people, be very interested in them, ask them questions and things about what they do and kind of how they got into it. It's just amazing the doors that'll open up for you. The second thing is there is an unimaginable wealth of resources online. Obviously we found this video, so you found one of them, but there are blogs and webinars and training events and all this free stuff just sitting out there waiting for people to read it or watch it or listen to it or whatever. There's so much great stuff out there that's entirely free that will make you smarter and a better attractive candidate when you're trying to get into the entry-level HR job. So start researching and learning. You will learn the lingo, you'll pick it up a little at a time. Honestly, the best way to learn HR is to do it, but until you can actually do it, you're going to have to learn it some other way. So start picking up things like that and just learn more about the most critical HR issues that are going on today. And you're not going to fool someone into thinking, yeah, this is our next VP of HR right here, but you'll sound more confident when you're talking to someone about the position and what it entails. You'll actually understand when they say, you know what, you're going to be dealing with employee relations, FMLA requests, performance assessments. You'll understand what some of those things mean. So just take the time to look at those resources, and you'll find some really good stuff that will help you be a more attractive candidate. And the big thing that I've heard, a lot of people say, hey, I'm in a job right now, but I'm not doing HR, and I want to be. I want to find an HR job somewhere, but right now I'm just stuck doing what I'm doing. And my first response is always, do HR where you are. And that sounds weird. It sounds like, well, I'm doing, this data entry job. How am I going to do HR there? Well, that is what I did in my last job, or sorry, 2 jobs back. I was working in like a data entry thing. It was mind-numbingly boring, and I wanted to be in HR so bad. But when I asked them, we were a relatively small company, so I said, hey guys, talked to our HR person, said, would it be possible for me to like help with anything or just spend some time learning about kind of what you do? And she's like, nope, not going to happen. Ugh. So I said, you know what, I'm going to have to do this myself. I couldn't apply for another job yet because there was nothing open locally. So I started looking at opportunities to train others, to do a little bit of training, to create some training resources on how to do a specific part of my job, because training is a part of HR, obviously. I took the time to work with our manager on some recognition, how to do some recognition and incentives for our people. I mean, there's a limited amount of things that you can do in that sort of function. Maybe you work with a recruiter and you're trying to get some referrals in. Whatever it is, there's a way for you to kind of fit HR around your job and do little things to make yourself more appealing as an HR candidate once you start going for those entry-level interviews. So, again, I completely understand how frustrating it is trying to get into it from the beginning. It's just heartbreaking at times, and it's very demoralizing, but don't let it get you down. You know what? Pick up these tips, really get out there, make yourself more attractive as a candidate, and get that HR job that you've been looking for. If I can ever help or offer any advice personally, my email address is ben@upstarthr.com, and I'm happy to help however I can. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.